Hey everyone, welcome to Startups on Demand, sponsored by New York Tech Media. Today I've got the awesome Ron Nahum, the CPO, Chief Product Officer of Truvid in the house. Ron, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Omri. Thank you for having me.
So, tell us a bit about Truvid. What is your product doing? What kind of problem is it solving?
So Truvid is really an online video platform with the main objective of connecting content creators with media providers. By media providers, we're talking about websites or applications or even connected TV, and just trying to get video to the masses. And what I mean is, if we go back about 5 to 6 years, we looked at the market and we're trying to figure out what was missing there. Okay, why isn't video booming like it should, digital way? And we start with, I'll tell you a story. Okay, it's something that happens about 5.5 years ago. We were in New York and we were interviewing one of our clients, big website in the States about business, and we're asking him what was he missing in terms of video, because we knew that he wanted video. And we talked a little bit and we noticed that Yahoo's finance department was just next door on the same floor, and we're asking them whether they were interested in having their content on their website. And once we said that, their eyes popped out, saying like, yeah, this is exactly what we need on our site. And so, we investigated a little bit more and we found out that the reason they haven't done it is really split into three. One of them is technologically wise. There's a lot of solutions out there, but none of them really suits the publisher's need. And the other one is that business-wise, there's no open communication or one big marketplace where you can find all your potential clients, and so that was also missing in the market. And the last thing I think was the resources that required in order to create such an operation with profitability of the ground, because it would require paying for content in advance, would require having the right people to operate the technology and the know-how. So we decided that, let's create such a platform that gives a really easy to use, an open marketplace where both content providers and media providers can communicate and get, the right video to the right audience.
So your marketplace has kind of created, I think, kind of a triangle, with having publishers on one side, advertisers on the other, and content owners, kind of completing this kind of triangle. So if you get a look at the market, at your competitors, what other kind of companies are trying to build those up marketplaces? And how do you think Truvid has that unique selling proposition?
Right. So there's the obvious YouTube out there, right? Where YouTube's main business model is splitting the profits from advertising between YouTube and the content owner. And in that regards, you can, as a site owner or an app owner, you can extract YouTube's videos and put them on your website, but you're not enjoying the revenue cut. Mm-hmm. And so on the business model, that's how we differentiate us from YouTube. Also, I would say if we're looking at YouTube, YouTube is more like a B2C kind of solution, whereas we provide professional tools for professional companies, publishers, that enables them to either syndicate their own content or consume professional content and distribute it over their network. But there's other solutions there as well. There's an Israeli company called Premise And another one that is American, but I think the entrepreneurs are Israelis as well, called Konatics. There's also Vidazoo. But I think what differentiates us from the others is that we focus more on the content on the one hand, and on the other hand, we focus on user experience. And you know, to wrap it up, we do it all on a very simple and open platform. And I think that what makes us different and very easy to use as well when you compare us to the competition.
Well, obviously you are the chief product officer. You've been, from the get-go, running the product. So can you tell us a little bit about the behind the scenes of how long did it take your team to kind of build this out?
So it took us about 2 years to create it. So if we started around 2016, when the idea came up, I think we launched it towards the beginning of 2018. But we've been, the basic idea is there, but the execution looks completely different. When we thought logic stuff would bring growth, we understood that you have to know your clients a little bit more. Although our DNA is the publisher side, we learned much more about how they work. Their behind the scene was what really made a difference, and we've been changing and adapting and evolving ever since according to our better understanding of our clients.
That is awesome. So I know you guys are working on some really cool new features coming out soon. Can you give us a little glimpse on what are some of the things that are on the roadmap currently?
Right. So I think last year we really focused on performance-wise, trying to improve the user experience, and also, if it's minimizing the footprint of the player and minimizing loading times, and just really trying to make it a really professional, fast player. I think this year we're going to focus more on our business's user experience, making the right flows on our platform, and adding more to the arsenal of how our player is going to be visualized to the users. And also, everybody's onboarding the connected TV, the mainstream of connected TV. We think it is a little bit premature, and we don't like going into markets that are evolving as as they happen, because there's a lot of fraud involved, and the market really needs to understand how to work with these technologies or these new trends. And so we're not jumping on board the train of the connected TV train, but we are trying to get ready in many ways. So we are preparing our product in the background, and we're also improving the usability of our users of our platform, really.
So connected TV, what do you mean by that? Do you mean streaming channels? Do you mean
yeah, you know how you have now all TVs are smart, there's apps.
Yeah.
You have the obvious Netflix, Hulu, Roku. So there's gonna be a lot of these coming up, I think. And if they are not going to, they should, because cord cutting is there, has been, and it looks like every year we say this is the year when broadcasters gonna have to go online. But for some reason it hasn't happened yet, but it is progressing. So we're going to focus on that. And yeah, I think I got distracted by my phone. So.
No worries. So obviously video has taken such a big leap, increasing engagement for a lot of publishers, increasing, CPLs and other metrics for advertisers, and helping creators really connect with their audience, right? So we're seeing platforms like TikTok that are totally dominating the space. TikTok, I think 2 weeks ago, it was announced that TikTok has become the most visited domain. They've actually beaten Google. So why do you think video is so compelling, and where do you think video is heading do you think we're going to see, kind of like publishers doing video only sites with no text at all or something like that?
So I think, we haven't mentioned COVID. COVID made a lot of changes, and for us as well on the advertising industry and video in specific, because it seems like, I'm not saying anything special, right? But I think all businesses really had to stop and think about how they're doing their businesses. And you would be surprised how traditional publishers are. But I think COVID let everybody have their own thinking time and understand that they need to change stuff in order to keep up with the competition. And TikTok is an amazing phenomena because it changed the way people consume video. And it also turned consumers into producers. So, all the challenges and, the dances and stuff like that. So it really inserted a new level into video where you don't only consume, you also produce. And it made everybody potentially rock stars. And I think regarding whether we're going to have more video sites, I think we already do have them. They're called, Netflix, Hulu, that are paid or partially paid. You can see Disney going crazy, you have Amazon and everything. So I think we have that, but I think that the secret is not, people, let's be honest, people don't like advertisements, okay? Yeah. You have to figure out the minimum interruption that you do. So some people come up with funny ads, some people shorten their ads from, a minute to 15 seconds. And so I think once somebody's gonna figure out how to do more with less, okay, then we would really start seeing stuff like TikTok in a different way, okay? So you're not gonna interrupt the user, or you're gonna make it interesting for him to interact with your commercial. And that could be different gestures, that could be interactive videos. I don't know what it's going to be. I have some ideas, but the industry doesn't really consult me before it goes ahead and does stuff.
You want to share those ideas? You want to share those ideas?
I've done it before. Some of them are, I want to develop a little bit more for Truvid. Okay. And the rest, I think they're not, let's see what's going to happen. Cool.
That's good. So I want to ask you like two more personal kind of questions, right? Like, obviously I admire you as an entrepreneur and as a productive CPO. So, what kind of advice would you give like inspiring chief product officers or, even CPOs in different other industries, not necessarily the video marketplace industry? Like what kind of, general advice is your go-to advice for, for CPOs?
Right. I think the main one is, start with the story you absolutely believe in, and then have a plan in place. And once you have a plan and you have the story, be absolutely sure that it's going to change the minute you're going to start your business. So it's going to evolve all the time, but never forget that if it made sense for you, it's not the what, it's the how. So sometimes, if you have to convince your clients to use your product and why your product is good for them, you need to change strategy, okay? Because it's not about convincing them that you're good for them. It's about making your product as effortlessly used by your clients as possible. And that's what we're really doing here. We're focusing about, maximum automation, seamless integrations, just anything we can do for our clients not to have to deal with us until they figure out, wow, this is really making, it has a really good ROI, or it's making great money. And only then they would be eager to listen and hear more. So it's about entering the door, putting your foot in the door, and only then you can have your say.
And reducing friction for the clients, reducing as much friction for them. Yeah.
Right.
100%. So, let's talk a little bit about productivity. I think we talked about it a bit earlier, not in this conversation, but what are kind of your like productivity hacks or your go-to, methods to kind of increase your efficiency?
So, I've done a lot of things in my life. One of them was coaching. And so productivity method is really something down my alley. I think, so I have hundreds of them, but I think if I have to focus, I can only focus on two. I can't go down to one. I'm sorry, buddy. So the first thing would be, don't save on time planning in the morning. When you come to work, I would advise at least 30 minutes to an hour going over stuff you've done yesterday, stuff that you left open, emails. Just go on your entire list. If you can do it in 10 minutes, do it as you read through. If you can't, prioritize it. That's how I start the day. But I have to say that when I do that list, I always mark one special task that I say, this is something if I'll achieve it today, I know I made progress, because sometimes we get lost in our emails and people are asking us for questions, but there's always this one task that I mark as today's main task. And I keep it for, when I'm most concentrated. For me, it's just before lunch. Like an hour before lunch and then 2 hours after. That's when I'm the most productive. So I'm also choosing the time of day to execute. So I'd say that's it. Stop me before I keep on going.
Love this. Yeah, I think it's really important to kind of, I think, especially now where there are so many distractions out there, to be able to know what kind of activities and tasks are the actual ones that can progress your product or progress your kind of your day or your business, instead of just like wasting time on emails and social media. So I think that is really good advice. And Ron, thank you so much for being on the show. Love
it's
talking
always
to
great
you.
talking with you. Yeah.
Loved hearing all the things. And hey, everyone who wants to check out Truvid, if you are a video creator, if you're an advertiser, if you're a publisher, visit truvid.com. And is there any other way they can reach you guys or contact you guys?
They can always contact me directly through ron@truvid.com. There's no bots listening to this conversation marking me for the spam. But yeah, either you go hello@truvid.com, or if you're in the US, to us@truvid.com. There's always somebody here that's going to answer within the next 24 hours or so, even less. So awesome. We'll be happy to have a chat with anybody that's interested. Thank you very much for the conversation, Omri. Always a pleasure, and keep on doing the good work.
Thank you so much, Ron. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.